Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is October the 20, I think the 25th, uh, 2015, of course. And I made a video, I think, yesterday. And I wanted to correct some of the comments that I made and actually apologize because I was kind of, you know, pissed off because I couldn't see uh, my children, Matthew and Jesse, and I was supposed to. But it is very emotional, and I totally understand. Not my. This is not an excuse for being, mean or making some unkind comments about Donnell. So I want to take back what I said. All along, her and family, her family, from Mr. Blayman all the way to the youngest, which is Melissa. They were victimized. They were retaliated against because Donnell got with me. And not only that, but we had two babies together. I, I can, you know, that's why I go all over the place because the crimes are so too many of them, and it's all because being evil, racist, and victimizing people and committing crimes against them, especially those who defy them and call them in their wrongdoing and corruption and stand firm and fight their crimes against the masses. Basically, that's what it is. Now, I always say let's have a civilized debate with evidence, with documents, with court orders, with phone log and everything else. Exhibits, as they say in the legal terms, okay, and evidence of the alleged crimes that the state, well, the county, of course, it's cities first, the counties, and the state of California. And then when I go to the federal government, is because they've been complacent about all these crimes that he committed against the masses out of corruption and out of just keeping people in the status quo as an account. And we already uh, talked too many times, and everything is out there, the cat out of the bag, as they say. All right, there's nothing hidden, and it doesn't matter what they're gonna say. Oh, prove this and prove this. The federal government has every proof that they need. The problem is that the federal government is not, they don't want to take the states. They don't want to go and look at the problems and really say, oh, wait a minute here. Before we go and police the whole globe, let's root out corruption and fix our country first and get rid of all this injustice and crimes that is committed, against the masses. It's a lot worse than anywhere you might imagine. And I said that before. Why? Because we here in the United States of America and elsewhere think that, oh, well, we are a citizen of the United, the best, the biggest, and the most democratic society, and it's bull crap. People here are victimized more than anywhere you might imagine. Okay, but we just package it good. We got everything, everybody dialed in and accepted the fact that this is the way you gotta live. All right. So this is the biggest picture. Now let me go back to what I was saying about what the comments that I made in my that video yesterday after I came back. I'm not really upset, and I'm not bent out of shape, and I'm not angry at anyone. I just wanted everybody to see it as it is. And it's not only in my case or my family or my ex, I'm talking about to all of us. Uh, you know, put aside the pride and, you wanted to teach the other parents that listen, or you wanted to get some kind of a monetary, benefits out of it or what have you. Just, you know, I am sure, and I'm not saying that to be, everyone does the best with what they got. It's all bad, bad decisions. That's all. And we think that we're doing the well for the well-being of ourselves first, and then for the loved ones. No one wants to see their son or their daughter hurt in any way or shape or form. This is not us as a human being. We have the instincts of survivor to love and care for our loved one, our little ones. So all of these is our bad decisions, and then we all, the adult, actually the parents, are the one that they need to work. They need the help, they need the healing, they need the to you know we need to take care of ourselves first, because if we don't, we can't take care of anyone else. So that's what I wanted to say. So I just wanted to strongly and with a lot of regret, and I take back what I said in that video. Now, let's talk about why all of this happened to everyone. And again, my message to the U.S. Department of Justice, not the Attorney General here in California, because the state of I'm just done with them. Everything was brought to their attention. They know exactly what is going on, and when you are having any problem, you're not fighting you're not fighting the employee, the employer. You're not fighting the car dealership. You are not the banks. You're fighting the state itself. You fight the state is the one doing all this crime, committing all these crimes against the masses. Okay, they are the one that they let corporate America get away with all of this because they have the power. They are the state. Okay, and they committing the crimes. They are the one they committing the crimes and standing there for corporate America to rip off, because they are the rip off themselves. They are the one they ripping everybody off, and they just say, oh well, the banks and no, it's the state that is doing that, and the federal government, they know exactly what's going on. Again, because they're doing this in a higher scale. Now, let's again go to narrow down to why I am saying what I am saying. The vehicle that it was involved, 2007 Ford Expedition that we purchased together. I was a co-signer. In fact, I did the contract and everything when I was working at the dealership where I was working last. when the when the insurance company, or well, the state, again, the county of Orange, let's be specific, wanted to deny people the rights and push them to the curb and, instigate and, go and tell, oh, well, he's doing fraud. If you're doing fraud, call these and all that. Anyway, so they first removed me from the scene, which they wanted there and intimidate, uh, you know, my family. All right. And told them that, he's going away for a long time because he's a fraud and a terrorist and everything. Then now they didn't leave them alone. They kept victimizing them and, intimidating them, and they move in, they camp. The police department, they camp at the apartment complex where, when my family reside. Okay, because they have another business going on, and they didn't want to, lose any of their clientele. And they continue to harass, intimidate, and commit crimes against, the family. Now, all of this is retaliation. Again, make no mistake. So the employer, he didn't do much. He just told them, hey, here, and then they took over. Now, it's too many. It's a lot of crimes. First of all, let's stay with the vehicle because this was that's what I was talking about. So the 2007, so when I went to get the general relief and so on, no, you don't qualify. They find anything, that because of the car, and the car was restraining order and anything. Anyway, Ford was already harassing everyone, and then the car was paid off. In fact, it was overpayment. All right. And I was supposed to get a check for 22,000 some change. I don't remember now, because the payoff was 23,000, and I think I paid 45,000. The payments, that I made online somehow. It went. Maybe the money was somewhere in the bank, But anyway, and it was $45,000, 100 or whatever. All right. So they were supposed to send me a check. Now, before that, they were already playing the game. Oh yeah, don't let him. When you call, you have to have a code so you won't get information, even though legally I was a co-buyer. So if she is late on the payments or what have you. Now let's go when I said late payments. Ford was doing that late payments intentionally because it's a lot better than the interest. So they did the zero financing, and then everybody has to pay $35 late payments, and they will send you the every other month you have a late payments, and it keep going. It doesn't go because now your payday, your due date for the payments, let's say the 10th. So they send you the bill on the 7th, but by the time you get it from the mail or what have you, you get a lot of stuff to worry about. So they know what they were doing anyway. They send it, and then you send it on, they receive it on the 10th. It takes a couple of days to process it. They post it to your account on the 12th. That's late because after the 10 days grace period, not grace. Anyway. And now the payment is posted after, it's late. Now next month is the same thing. So now we're making the payments. They receive it on the 13th, and there is the late payments fee every month. So you don't pay interest, or you're paying 1.9 throughout the the loan. You pay maybe 200 30 or 200. It depends how much, but very little for interest, so they, or non-interest, so they get the money from the late payments. And that's done across the board for millions of people. You know, I'm just gonna say what I witnessed because I was there, and I did finance and everything else. But so they said, so they conning her and they're removing me from the scene because they couldn't get away with that. I don't pay interest. No, I don't pay late. Shoot me. They send they send the repo man, and they intimidate you and they harass you and 20 phone calls, and they send you letters in the mail, and they after you and everything else to con you out of the money and then go to court and get that and garnish yourself. It is the other criminals, the other one they committing, you know, heinous crimes against the masses. And then they say, oh, well, he's frauding this and frauding and bank robbing this and and the government. Okay, I got to wait for the again. Let me get it down. Oh, come on, man. Let me put this down. Alrighty, here you go. That's more. Sorry about that. It's not. I'm not sorry because of the gun. It's just maybe somebody is sleeping or you know. I moved out of one place because one of the residents complained that they shouldn't pray in the house. Shouldn't do our prayers in the house where we stay. Do it in the garage or in the yard. So when they say, "Oh well, you just have to do it," I said, "I don't have to do anything, and you don't have to do anything because I'm moving out, you punks." Anyway, stuff for a of you too late. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. 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 الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا
اللهم
الله.
رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته.
وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Anyway, alhamdulillah. So what I was saying, so Now they said that you anyway. So they said that yeah. Now we were talking about the late fees and the payments, but anyway, so they removed me from that. They after that they filed, and the car was paid off and then was sold, and the pink slip, someone has a pink slip, the owner has a pink slip, it's paid for, and yet they took them to court, and of course the DMV and the courts and everybody else is just corrupted to the gills. Everything is done to victimize the masses and con them and fraud them out of their livelihood, and there is nobody is there to protect the consumer or or people from all these financial criminal institutes that they are victimizing people, and riba and everything else, and committing all kind of crimes, and then getting the courts to help them, and but people destroy people in their lives, and they drug them and everything else. Now they said that you don't qualify until now. I was calling the county, some county here in Southern California area, and they said, oh, what about that 2007 Xfinity? Because they want to charge me share cost 1,055, and I don't want a branch anyway. So this is financial fraud crimes against people done by the state. And the banks they start, but the state kind of carry out it, they so we'll take care of that. They garnish her wage. She has to file a bankruptcy even though the car was paid off. And I have all the documentation here. I'm going to put it with this video, so because that's what I'm talking about. So the Department of Injustice can see, because they keep telling me, I don't hear from them. I don't hear. The FBI, now they are not, alhamdulillah, they are not harassing me anymore, but, they were for the longest time. Okay? Why the FBI is not going about all these crimes? Yeah, why the Department of Justice is not after all the state and corporate America that victimizing people? State mostly. Department on Social Services, the department, we already talked about that. This is heinous crimes, guys. This is not some that is done to only one person or two. It's done across the board. It's done to everyone been victimized in their skill, in their economic status, and their issue, whatever is health, social, what have you, whatever it is, they've been victimized. Okay, and I'm talking about you could be a day worker somewhere, or you can be a professor or a scientist, or not the people who retire from the army or what have you. That they own that. They own everybody. This is the plantations owners. But they are, they can do anything and commit any crime, and it's okay. They cannot pay for it, or they are the one. They own everyone. That's what has been going on. So I just wanted to make it clear. I have no wrath again, not against anyone, my family, mothers or my children, my immediate family, brothers and sister-in-laws, all my family and friends. I have no. That's not what I am. Uh, being doing all this video, it is the state and the federal government that is allowing and committing the crimes and creating all this animosity and all these games and all this court domestic violence and child support and anything just to keep them in the system, control them, and continue everybody this you know infected them with all this, and that's how they rule. It is done since the pharaohs, the Pharaoh, until now. Now is a lot worse because we are buying it. We are buying it and we protecting it. It's not like before. People used to, at least, they didn't have any la hawla wa la quwwa. But now we do have the power, but we are indoctrinating and brainwashed and accepted the fact, and that's how we are living and protecting this evil system. That's bottom line. So I just wanted to make this video to apologize, and I will post that for the model credit the, with the DMV. So banks and the DMV with the state, the crimes that they committing against the masses, the people, that they live in this country, whether they're citizen or not. أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم. And maybe even though I'm not doing a religious sermon or so, I always I have to, and this is just Islamic part of me. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestow mercy upon humanity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.